You think me mad, old friend, but I know these dreams. They tell of the future. Hell is coming, brother. Hell is coming.
How's it going, lads and ladettes? Welcome to the channel. Over the past week now, we've been seeing a lot of information about Diablo IV spew out from the mouths at Blizzard, including several new trailers showcasing both gameplay and a CG movie, both of which are stunning, and I suggest you guys go check it out using the links in the description. They've also spread a lot of current details through Q&As about the game, so a lot of our information will be coming from there. Link is also in the description. But in this video, guys, we are covering everything we know about the game so far and giving an educated guess on whether or not it's going to be good and what it's going to be about. Before we jump in, I'll list a few things that we are going to cover in this video, being the scale of the game, classes, character progression, and, returning items and feature from Diablo 2. At the end, we also give a lot of information on the story and a few predictions. So if any of that interests you guys, let's kick off this week's episode of the Weekly Commentary. Diablo 4. It's giving me chills just saying that. It will be a brand new game set in the Diablo series, obviously, hence the term Diablo 4. Set to release on platforms PS4, PC, and Xbox One. This game, judging from its gameplay trailer, appears to be returning to its roots in terms of art style to a more dark, mysterious, and gory rendition. The overall style appears to be extremely graphic heavy, so a Switch version is only in talks at the moment. And unlike that shitty stunt Blizzard tried to pull last year with Diablo Immortal, this game will not be a mobile game, don't worry. It won't even get a port for it, so thank you, Blizzard, for listening to your angry fans for once. Because they never really do that, do they? But judging from the overall scale of this game and reading into the details we know about it, it becomes pretty clear as to why a phone version is out of the question. For example, this game is currently set to have 5 massive regions, acts as most Diablo players would refer them as, with each region being up to 20 times the size of some areas in Diablo 3. These areas are going to be so massive that in the gameplay trailer you can even see the use of mounts being a seemingly mandatory thing. Now that's a lot of hardware you'd need to pack into a phone for it to even be viable. Unfortunately, this overall scale they're going for seems to be what's keeping the Nintendo Switch version out of the picture as well. That's a darn shame though, because I found Diablo 3 was a quite fun game to play on the Switch. It was one of the best ones. Anyways, moving away from the sheer size, let's jump into what we know is going to be in the game. Same as in Diablo 3, there will be 5 classes to choose from at launch, 3 of which are showcased in the gameplay trailer, being Barbarian, Sorceress, and Druid. Whilst the other 2 are unknown for now, there is room for speculation in terms of what these classes could be. In my eyes, a support class such as the Monk or even Necromancer could come into play, whilst a range-heavy or rogue-like class is also very likely. Classes like a Demon Hunter in that respect. However, we can't shrug the possibility that Blizzard may just go all out and new. They may go completely original with these last 2 classes as a way to draw in attention from veteran players. Judging from the gameplay trailer, Druid looks to be my current first pick, as I like the idea of shape-shifting and being a sort of bruiser in that regard. If they bring back summoning wildlife as your companions, I think I would be locked in. Druid, unlike in D3 though, will not feature heavy use of flame-based attacks, and Blizzard had stated that they're giving him more nature-based abilities to further emphasize on the Druid being one with nature, man. A true Druid, as you would. Barbarians are, classic brawlers. They've always been, specializing in heavy and weaponry-based builds. With their new passive ability, Arsenal, they are even able to equip up to 5 weapons, becoming a walking armory of sorts. They are also able to hotkey certain attacks to certain weapons, which, further impacts build making. This definitely freshens the Barbarian in a way to interest veteran players. Having played Diablo 1 through 3, I know it has piqued my interest, even if it's just slightly. Sorceress just seems to be the same as always. Not a lot of originality or uniqueness can be seen throughout the gameplay trailer, at least in my eyes. I love mage classes though, so as long as she has skimpy armor, I'm sold. Jokes aside, if I want to play as her, I will. I assume many of you mages will feel the same way anyways, but remember, this is still very early stuff, so remember, you know, everything mentioned is still subject to change. In terms of level progression and character development, many people at Blizzcon noticed that Diablo IV used a talent tree and skill point system that from my impression seemed to be refundable as a way to change builds and test out new things. These skill points and talent trees appear to work the same as in Diablo II, which is very good in my opinion because Diablo II, whilst having a simple leveling system, it felt to me as the best system a Diablo game has had. It basically compiles of skill points being your stats, while talents are your perks, abilities, special attacks, all that kind of stuff. Now in terms of the game's online status, we have that spiteful question we have to ask all the time these days: do I have to be online to play this game? And unfortunately, yes. But on the bright side, this does not completely impact your experience playing the game. If you want to just play as a solo player, you still can. This is coming straight from the devs at BlizzCon, stating that Diablo IV, from start to finish, is completely beatable solo. So this is good, however expected. You know, if it wasn't beatable solo, that'd be kind of a what the fuck moment. Anyways, as part of the online aspects of the game, we're seeing trading and PvP return, big core aspects of the game, so players are going to be happy about that. We'll also see the addition of social areas similar to Destiny's Tower, tricked out with a variety of vendors, while primarily acting as a way for players to engage with one another. This is pretty cool in my opinion, as it's sort of bringing the MMO feel of the game to life a little more, whilst keeping it as the game you want it to be when you want it to be. Does that even make sense? Doubling down on the heavy social aspects of the game, they have also created world bosses, which will spawn in regions of the game to act as a sort of public event, requiring, I quote, dozens of players to be able to complete. It's interesting to think about how they're going to achieve dozens of players arriving in a single area to fight these tough enemies. Perhaps they'll incorporate, you know, a kind of drag system where it'll drag you to it should you choose to accept the event. Or maybe just have it the same way that games like Destiny and Division have had it in the past, being an event that's marked on the map and players can just meet up there. We won't know until Diablo IV comes out, but it's still fun to think about these things, so yeah, let me know what you guys think. These are all the biggest sparks of info revealed to us for Diablo IV at the moment, but let's now talk about what the game is going to be about, the story and its implications. So assuming you have watched the story reveal trailer, we all know that the thing at the end, who I guess we know is now Lilith, she is a seemingly ancient and powerful demon. With the title Daughter of Hatred, anyone who played Diablo 2 would know that she is in fact the daughter of Mephisto, whom in turn is the brother of Diablo. See where the connection lies? However, what is known about Lilith is sure to interest many fans of the series. Lilith is one of the few demon overlords that actually does not share the same ideals as the three brothers Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. Before the birth of humanity, she essentially just played around with her power, toying with angels until stumbling upon one in particular. This angel was named Inarius, whom she later mated with. With Lilith and Inarius together not agreeing with the ideals of heaven and hell, they chose to abandon their respective planes, leading a group of like-minded renegades to a newly created pocket dimension that they created together, now known as Sanctuary, the mortal realm. This is why she's actually known as the creator of Sanctuary, because, well, she created it with Inarius. However, with this new bit of information surfacing, many would be left to wonder if Lilith is going to be the main villain, or perhaps even an ally. The fact that she is the cousin of Leah, you know, one of the main characters from Diablo 3, is an interesting thought as well. Maybe she shares some of Leah's views. Who knows at this point? But with the creation of Sanctuary and the hardcore demonic, angelic sex they must have all had, the birth of the Nephilim came. And with the Nephilim came the birth of humanity. Nephilim are beings of great power, having heaven and hell at their disposal. They were deemed a massive threat to both angels and demons, even though they were their very own offspring. This in turn sparked a civil war based on the choice whether to let the Nephilim live or die. And you played as one in Diablo 3, and humanity's a thing, so they're obviously still around. But in any case, Lilith, with innate fear for her children's extinction, mutated from insanity into a horrific beast. She then went on into a mad frenzy to hunt down any and all who would see her children dead. So it seems clear to me that Lilith will not solely be the evil villain we may think she is, but there is still certainly more to her character to be explored upon the game's release. Who knows, maybe she is actually insane and she can't tell who's who anymore. You know, even if we are playing as a Nephilim, she might not be able to see that. But with that, guys, we are actually going to end this week's episode with a question. And that question is, does all of this info hype you up for Diablo 4? Or are you still salty for, you know, all the Hong Kong stuff and Diablo Immortal? Any answer is a valid answer, I'm just curious. I personally am willing to overlook Blizzard's faults, as I've been waiting for this game for so long, and I'm just so pumped to play it, you know, like, I love Diablo, played 1, 2, 3, I know there's a few spin-offs, but I haven't played those ones, I just played 1, 2, 3, and I just love it, I love the series, and I'm definitely giving this one a go. But with that, guys, that's all I had to say, so I hope you enjoyed this commentary, this, you know, this little information catch-up, if you're looking for some Diablo information, and, you know, if you did enjoy it, leave a like, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next episode. And with that, guys, I'll see you later. Aha!
Do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! You said tomorrow. So just do it! Do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it! Stop. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! No! Make your dreams come true! Do it! Just do it! Make your dreams come true!